Civil aviation has experienced a 35-year boom period where you've effectively connected the global cities through air, and this basically has led to the facilities on the ground becoming kind of the major building blocks of economic growth and development in many of these cities. And so, a well-functioning airport in almost every city in the world is pretty much one of the core 2 or 3 assets that drives, the economy.
DFW Airport is the largest economic driver in North Texas. We create $37 billion of economic activity every year, and that's primarily through the movement of goods and services and logistics from a cargo perspective, and then obviously the movement of about 65 million customers a year through the airport.
There are a lot of different ways that airport projects can be delivered, and there are different models to do that. One of them is P3s, public-private partnerships, and they have been successful in different venues and different locations where there's been an objective of getting the private sector in to not only build the facility, but also provide the financing and the operation over an extended period of time.
The time is right. I think, sort of this confluence of infrastructure that requires updating, of, constrained public balance sheets, users wanting better facilities, and customers, and including airline customers wanting better facilities, and getting comfortable with private sector operation and investment and management of those facilities. I think it's a good time where we are going to start to see some more private participation and privatization and P3s for U.S. airports.
A question that might be asked is, why aren't there more P3s at airports? There are reasons for that. First of all, it's a complicated procurement process that can take several years to conclude from beginning to end. Secondly, the owners need a very specific set of skills to properly administer the selection of an entity that could have a 20, 30, or 40-year concession to provide services at that airport. It's a major commitment and decision, and we are still looking for an increase in the number of success stories and applications of this approach at airports around the country to elevate the level of confidence in the industry that this is in fact an effective approach from both a financial and a customer experience point of view.
One thing we have to remember is that airports are inherently the most visible of infrastructure assets in a community. So, whereas roads or power plants and other infrastructure, local community doesn't identify with them as much. Yeah, they use them, but they're really not symbolic. Airports are very much symbolic in a community that identifies with airports. It's extremely important to be able to have that stakeholder outreach, stakeholder management, and really making sure that the airport continues to be a reflection of the community and is developed for a community.
In my view, P3s are a very good instrument to improve airports, not only in other parts of the world, but in the US as well. I think with P3s, you get the best possible combination of protection of public interest as well as the stimulus of the private company that enforces and strengthens the performance of airports in terms of operations and in terms of business.